So as you're watching this video, XDefiant is probably shut down, if not on the way out the door. And in today's video, I just kind of wanted to talk about some of the reasons why XDefiant may have died and what I think really happened with the game behind the scenes. And who knows, I might be right, I might be wrong, I don't know. But we're also going to be going and taking a look at XDefiant as well on its final days and just kind of relive the experience. So part of that includes any of the new content that they dropped in the huge content dump that they made right when they announced that XDefiant would be shutting down, and just kind of seeing what was missed and what the potential could have been of XDefiant. I hope you guys all enjoy the video. If you do, make sure to drop a like, and if you're new around here, make sure to subscribe. I cover all sorts of games, and yeah, let's go ahead and hop right into it. All right, so here we are on XDefiant. Actually, real quickly, you can check the time. All right, down there in the corner, you can see that it's June 3rd exactly. Well, not exactly, but you know, it's June 3rd, and that basically means that XDefiant is going to be shutting down very, very soon. So real quickly, I kind of want to just check out some of the things that they added to XDefiant, because they added a bunch of new stuff that, how do I put it, would have been in the later seasons that they planned on doing, but obviously since the announcement, they just kind of threw everything at us and said, here you go, this is what we had planned for the game, and I'm sorry that this is all we can get to. So starting off, let's go ahead and look at the factions here. So obviously we have the Cleaners, we have the Phantoms, the Far Cry 6 one, I don't even know how you pronounce that, to be honest, and then Echelon. If you guys were paying attention to XDefiant and that sort of stuff, they came out with DedSec at launch, and then they also came out with the Rainbow Six Siege faction, like I think in season 1. Then we have this one, which is another Far Cry one called Highwaymen. I haven't seen this one. So what are the abilities? Saw Launcher launches buzzsaw blades that ricochet off surfaces and rip through foes. Okay. Deploy a machine gun turret with a 360-degree field of fire. And then we have an explosive grenade. And then their passive is rate of fire and reload speeds increase as you rack up kills. That's really interesting. This is like a combination of like so many different things that I'm thinking of. We have like the pizza launcher from like BO3, if you guys remember that one. We have Killjoy's turret from Valorant, and then we have like Brim Molly over here, or maybe like the War Machine from Call of Duty. And then their passive is just like playing Cranked 24/7, so that's kind of interesting. This is one that I was super excited about, but I can't believe they like let this down. I'm not gonna lie, like I don't know who any of these guys are. I was so excited for this because I knew that they were probably gonna do this. Like, let's keep it a buck. I think I made a video covering leaks about XDefiant or something, and this popped up, and I was so excited about this, but they kind of dropped the ball. But let's go ahead and check out their abilities. Okay, you get the Apple of Eden. Activate this reality bending artifact to teleport to an enemy and deliver your hidden blade. Okay, that's interesting. Oh, we have Cherry Bomb, which I think is from Unity, if I'm correct. Disorients nearby foes, leaving them vulnerable to attack. Okay, and then we have Eagle Vision, which glimpse enemies' locations and reveal their trails. Hidden blade kills refresh the effect. And then obviously as a passive trait, we have Hidden Blade. This iconic weapon assassinates targets in one hit. Hold the melee button to execute. Well, that is cool. I can't lie. So it's like a one hit melee. Then we have a Ghost Recon here with the Wolves, which, ready? I'm about to blow your minds. I think, if I'm remembering this correctly, the Wolves were actually originally the characters that the Phantoms are. So hear me out, right? In the early alpha of the game, if you guys remember that, I said that I had played the early alpha of the game. You can go back, like, I think it's in a Black Ops 2 video back in 2023. I think I said that I had been invited to play XDefiant and stuff like that, and then I was going to make a video on it and all that sort of junk. But you can hear me talk about like some of the stuff in the early alpha. Actually, no, I couldn't talk about anything that was in the alpha, but I did mention that I was participating in it because at that time XDefiant wasn't quite ready to be announced. But I forgot how we even heard about it, but me and my friend heard about it and we signed up for their alpha test, and we actually got in and we were able to play the game really early. Like, I'm talking like a whole year early before it actually even came out. So when I say this, I'm pretty sure the Phantoms were not a thing, and I think it was the Wolves, because I specifically remember this character, Sydney. I specifically remember this character all over the place. And then finally here we have Omega Force, which I don't even know what this is. Mullet Man? What is going on here? Then moving moving on, I real quickly just want to check out, like, I just want to see like some of the guns that they added, because let's see, this gun I think was added in season 1, so that's not really new. We have the PP19, which is super interesting, but yeah, this is really interesting. Oh, what's this? Daily login. Sorry, buddy, but I don't think the daily login is gonna be happening after this. So let's just see if we can let's see if we can just find a match. I'm literally just gonna queue for everything, I think, and see if we can find a match. Oh, it says we're creating a match. I don't really know what for. Okay, Liberty, and we got Dom. Okay, so this isn't really a new map. I'm pretty sure this map was, yeah, I'm pretty sure this map was there at launch. Oh, we're joining an in-progress match. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I really want to try out the assassins. I can't lie. So let's try out Eagle Vision and see how this goes. Oh man, I haven't played this game in forever, bro. Where do I jump so high? Am I supposed to be able to jump this high? Am I tripping? Am I crazy? Or like, the jumping was not this much, was it? Okay, there we go. First kill. Oh yeah, the emojis. I forgot about the emojis. I'm getting beasted. I can't lie. It's been so long since I played this game. I can't lie. Okay, that guy's just looking up at the sky. What's going on there? Man, the movement in this game is crazy. What mode am I playing? I thought I was just playing domination, but is this some like special kind of mode? Oh, broke your ankles. Oh, where are you looking, buddy? Why does everybody, when they die, they explode? Like, I don't, what's happening here? Is this a full lobby too? It low-key is a full lobby. This game is so fast-paced, it's kind of hard to like talk while you're trying to like focus up on the kills. And I think that's mainly because of how the gunplay is, which is something I wanted to talk about. That's what I wanted to talk about. Was I think a big part of the reason why this game failed is because I think the gunplay can sometimes feel very inconsistent. This guy like lagging? What is going on there? But I think the gunplay can feel very inconsistent in this game, and I don't know how to describe it, but it feels clunky. Like, I know that's not a good way to explain it, because it's really not a good way to explain it, but the gameplay, or the gunplay within the gameplay can feel very clunky at times. Like, sometimes you feel like you're beaming people, and then next thing you know, your like aim is all over the place. You can't hit a shot. You don't know what you're doing. It just is very inconsistent in that way, and I don't know why. See, like, I don't know how I got away with two kills there. I really should be dead. Uh-oh, we're getting naded. Okay. Okay, hold on, let me heal up. Okay, what's the ult do? I don't know what... I don't know what it does. What does it do? I held mouse 1 and I held mouse 2. I don't really know what I was supposed to do outside of that. I'm gonna keep it a buck. What is this badge discovered thing? What am I seeing pop up on my screen? Where'd you go? Oh, buddy, you tried. Oh, you tried too. Hey, I mean, we joined in progress and managed to win. But one thing that I did want to talk about in this video was why I think XDefiant failed as a whole. And I think, like, if you're looking at this picture right now, this important updates picture, this is not what the game looks like anymore, which is crazy to say. But this is actually, this picture right here is actually something that the game used to look like, but was quickly changed to appeal to more Ubisoft-like executives, I guess I should say. But it was changed from its original identity to be kind of like it was meant to be like a kind of team shooter-esque, but with elements of Call of Duty in it. So the way I'm kind of thinking of it is like Black Ops 4, but better. But anyways, as I was saying, I kind of feel like the game kind of struggled to kind of have an identity for itself. Like, in the early alpha, it definitely did have an identity for itself, but after that, it just like, it didn't really mesh very well with people. Like, it tried too hard to be a Call of Duty clone. I think that was one of the main problems that it had. A big part of the reason why I think this game failed was it failed to carve an identity for itself. And like I was saying, back in the alpha, the game was very different. It had a different aesthetic to it. It had a different gameplay loop to it, where the gameplay was much more focused on objectives. So you had modes like, you know, push the cart, you had domination, you had hard point and stuff like that. It was very much like OBJ objective kills. Like, it all revolved around playing the objectives and trying to win that way with the abilities that you were given, which is why the game has ults, which is why the game has, you know, a whole bunch of stuff. But there was a whole like aesthetic to it that screamed like objective based gameplay until people started calling it the Call of Duty killer, which I don't know. In hindsight, it's probably bad that we called it the Call of Duty killer because it wasn't even trying to be a Call of Duty competitor. If anything, I think it was more so trying to be a like Overwatch competitor, or you know, that sort of style of game. Like, you know, we have Marvel Rivals now, but I think this game was really trying to set itself up as a Overwatch type of game. But it was a completely different vibe to the game until people started calling it the Call of Duty killer. And then because people started calling it the Call of Duty killer, I think it promoted itself to be much more like Call of Duty. But I think once people started calling it like the Call of Duty killer, it became less about the OBJ and just how do we compete with Call of Duty. Really, I don't even think it was necessarily the developers that made the game. I think it was like Ubisoft executives that came up with that idea and just decided to run with it and just say, hey, make this game more and more like Call of Duty, please. And at the time, the Call of Duty of the year was Modern Warfare 2, the newer one, not the OG one. A lot of people didn't really mess with the current Call of Duty that was out at that time. And so like the open beta had a bunch of success. And because of that success, a lot of people were mainly coming over from Call of Duty. And so because people started coming over from Call of Duty and saying, hey, you should add, you know, a team deathmatch. You should add, I'm trying to think of other modes that are kind of just like Call of Duty based and not really what the vision was for the game. Domination, I think, is part of that because I don't think Domination was in the original. It was in the launch of the game, but it wasn't in the alpha that I played way back. Because like back in that alpha, we had two modes. That was it. One of it was push the cart, which was like the main mode everybody played. And then the other mode was like, oh, it was the capture. It was kind of like war in a sense. You had to like, each time you captured a zone, you would push back the enemy to a previous zone until you captured all the zones. So it would be like A and B, and you have to capture A and B, and then you had to go C and D, and then you had to go you know, to the last zone, which was E, which was always like a hard fight that you had to commit to. You know, you're like putting down all your ults, you're putting down all your abilities, everybody's throwing nades, everybody's trying to like hold it down or capture the point. And I think a big reason why XDefiant just lost its way was because, and this isn't to sit like any hate towards like any Call of Duty players or anything like that, but a big reason why the game kind of failed was because these Call of Duty players came in and said, hey, make this more like Call of Duty. And I think it really should have stayed much more like a Overwatch type of game where it was much more objective based. But yeah, ultimately I think XDefiant just really lost its like identity in trying to be a Call of Duty killer, quote unquote. But anyways, I think there was a lot of good ideas here with XDefiant. I just think they were kind of executed not in the best intentions. And like I said, if there's a developer out there and you just happen to be watching this video, please, I would love to talk to you. Please DM me on Instagram or, you know, anything really. You could leave a comment on this YouTube channel. I probably won't believe you, so if you could DM me on Instagram, that'd be great. Or Twitter. Twitter works too. I have a Twitter account now, guys, so if you guys want to go follow that, I'll be sure to include that in the description down below. But yeah, I don't know what happened with this game. Like I said, the game between alpha and the beta that we were given are two completely separate games, and it's crazy to me that that's even like a contention point to me. But looking back at this whole game, one of the reasons why I stopped playing it was because it lost its identity. It lost it in the sauce. I don't know what happened. It's pretty sad. It's pretty sad, but what can you do, man?